Okay, all right. Time is 8 in the morning. Hello, good morning. I don't know how to start up this morning, so I had to film in as we're going along. What we are coming up next is...
we should ask you, what stories you have?
Me? But they hear about the guy who get beaten to death in Chinatown? Are they about that? So yeah, so you can go on that. Boy, thank God Chris coming here, boy.
Yeah, boy, we had nothing to talk about.
It wasn't for me. All for that.
Yeah.
But I need a raise. Lift me up, please. Anyway, so yeah. So is there a story on that? Did anybody have a backup story on that?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the
have it there.
story on that.
Or
okay, let me give you a story. The story on Eyewitness News. Let me give you the story. Headline reads: Man who searched woman's VJ killed in Kingstown. Police in St. Vincent and Grenadines have launched a homicide investigation into the death of a 63-year-old Redemption Sharps man who was found unresponsive at Chinatown in Kingstown on Saturday. Eyewitness News was reliably informed that the man, Bertram Wright, died of multiple blunt force trauma to the head and body, suggesting he had been beaten. Wright had reportedly attended... I thought this was a bit strange. Wright had reportedly attended the award ceremony of the CID at the Kingstown Central Market hours before he was found dead. Huh? Sources have told Eyewitness News that Wright had been seen at the event in the company of some men who frequently socialize under a store gallery in the city, but had left before the award ceremony ended.
Is it a situation? Anybody could have gone to the CID Awards? Like, was it a...
This seems such a strange place for him to be.
Like a blocko? How to do it?
Honestly, ask he. He would know about anything.
Do I?
The CID Awards.
No, they had something up. I think upstairs the
upstairs market.
Upstairs the market area.
I saw the setup.
Yeah, but could anybody go?
Yeah, it's open. It's open. Anybody could go.
So you just a random guy just go up there and
you man come to buy drinks. Hey,
in the canteen.
The canteen.
The story goes on. The death raises questions about safety and security in Kingstown.
But let me ask a question. Chinatown, that's opposite His Majesty's prison, right up in the area there. Don't they have cameras around there?
Must.
And nobody ain't know?
Not just that. Up there is busy.
Up there, yeah.
There are people living in there.
There are people living there. Yeah, the prisons right there. Yeah, the sentries right there. Yeah, all kind of people all about the place.
Main road is right there.
Main road right there. Nobody can see.
You can get beaten to death up there. And nobody noticed?
Boy.
I mean, like, what are the chances of nobody noticing? I'd say slim.
Well, what are the chances of people talking?
That day is even more slim.
A different question.
Yeah, that might be even more slim. But it's weird though.
There's a community in there, you know.
Yeah,
it's different.
Especially, let me see. Morning. Hey.
Man, I only ready in the next. Yeah, I'm going to a big gun on the spirit out. I don't understand why it is that they don't push on them old buildings. You ever really pass there and look inside there and see inside there and see what's going on there?
Yeah, that's slum.
Whole place is a nest.
Yeah, that's slum area.
Get rid of that right in the heart of town. If they're not doing anything with the buildings, then just push them down and block them up. Too much nonsense going on inside. I ain't surprised that much more don't happen inside there. Or at least we don't even know.
Yeah.
Because look, inside is a different world, isn't it?
Yeah, so ahead.
Man, which part the store was there?
Behind there.
Behind there is residence for people, you know.
I know.
Anything, and like Kwasi said, anybody could get dragged in there. You don't have a clue what happens inside. All of the prisons there.
And nobody's going to talk.
And nobody going to talk and say that. They could have a feeling with somebody down the back.
Because driving past there, you only see the edge of what really going on.
I parked up in that region.
Maybe if you stay there for a little, you see people in and out there.
Yeah, I parked there, and when I coming out, I observing persons coming in. Like it was a complex, apartment complex. And why like that, I don't know. The old cinema is like a 5-star hotel to some. I don't know. I don't know.
But what do you do if, let's say, you take Kwasi's suggestion, you break it down. Let's say there's 30, 40 people living there.
Where do you put them?
Where do you put them?
That's a good question. Like 30 more, 40 more.
They just move around.
Huh? They're going to find somewhere else to move on to the next. That's it. When they're done with the X, move on to the next. That's what it is. They're going. But it's actually scary. that something like this now could happen in that area and nobody here.
Is there any
nobody see.
suggestion that this guy has anything to do with that area, or that just where he was found?
Don't know.
The story isn't clear.
No. Morning.
Hi.
Hi.
I was talking about that same place yesterday with one of the police officers by the barracks. And I was telling them that place has so much space that they could actually turn it into a juvenile center. So all the little children who have at least committed a crime and have to serve time. Because I did really think about the situation with the girl who had passed after the incident. And I really think that as a child, I know by law you can't charge a child for an adult conviction. So the child should at least do juvenile detention that the parents of the child have to pay for, and then after they've served their time in the detention center, when they reach an adult, the case goes over for review if they should be convicted.
All right.
Okay.
So that's a nice fact.
Yeah, right next to the prison too. So just
Remember,
in case.
they're gonna close that prison. Huh?
All right, they could refurbish and use that as the center. Morning. Hello?
Hey guys, just a point of correction. The area they're talking about is not by the prisons. It's that area opposite the police station. That's what they refer to as Chinatown. Those shops there opposite the police station over there.
Well, this I was asking just now.
Yeah, that's what they refer to as
It's
Chinatown.
Chinatown.
Yeah.
So what do they
Yeah,
refer
yeah.
to the area by the prison? Okay, thank you.
No, that was just a store.
The
That
color
was
there,
just a store called
Chinatown was a store
Chinatown.
inside it.
That was just a store. But the area they call Chinatown is that place opposite the station.
So that place where Chinatown was doesn't have a name.
Where, no, they call up in the Whitechapel.
I mean, that's why Chapel Hill.
Up, going that way.
Yeah.
Right, they call up in the Whitechapel. But it's a Chinatown.
I-
because
What do
it's
they
store.
call it?
I call it town.
Yeah. And when they say, that's why when they say Chinatown, that's why my first.
So you're talking
reference
over
is-
by the police station.
Yeah. And that makes it even more
That's
funny.
even busier.
That makes it even more the police station right there.
Over there busy too.
Over the busy.
Wow.
So that make, but I don't know. Because if you were at the, it makes sense now. If you're at the police thing, that mean you come from the
Well,
point is
they're
driving
both
over
they're both pretty close, but
there. That's why I asked if it was over there.
that's odd.
You must have cameras that captured that.
Well,
You must.
over there have stores.
If you
as
have
well,
cameras
like
anywhere,
shops.
that would be the where you'd have them, right?
Yeah.
If there's one place in St. Vincent that had cameras working,
Oh yeah.
I would have thought it'd be right there.
Yeah. Morning.
So,
Hey, morning.
you see, we often worry about where we put these people. When you see, people just keep moving on to things and they're squatting, and then eventually it becomes a problem. You can't make everything the government's problem, especially when people decide to move into an area and live, and then eventually, you know,
But it is
when
government's
it's time to
problem.
move- Yeah, I know, but when it's time to move them, you have to find some of them to go. Listen, if you keep doing that, the whole country will come like that. Because
Yeah.
it makes well, I just move on to somewhere else to live to.
So,
And then
so what
you
happens
have
if you break down that building and they move to
You're gonna go
outside your
somewhere,
business?
whether you like it or not. You're
They're
gonna
They're
go
gonna
somewhere.
move, they move outside your business,
that is private property.
and then they just move to a different business.
No, but that property they belong is private property. And if the owners decide to break it down and block it up, you can't tell them people live in it. I never gave them permission to live in the first place.
Agreed, but once you break it down, they're gonna find somewhere else to go.
Well, this is where this is because you have too many street dwellers on the street. And if you notice now again more and more, and you see more and more young ones there.
Yeah,
you see the amount of young people inside that hole inside is by Whitechapel Road there.
But Kwesi, they need to go somewhere.
Yeah, but look,
They're not going to just
I'm
not
just
exist.
saying, we often saying somebody move on your piece of land, they start to build.
No,
Because that's
I'm
something
not
then-
advocating that
then,
they
you
take
know,
any
they
bit, but
own your
I'm
land.
just saying that you move them from one spot.
You remember I'm the
They're just gonna find a new
last time?
spot.
They'll just find a new spot. It's not like they're going to disappear.
Yeah, but at the end of the
As
day,
much
because
as maybe your desire is for them to disappear, they're not.
we
are they?
can't, we can't think like that anyway. But at the end of the day, people have to live, yes, but not on other people's property.
Right, but they're going to live somewhere and it ain't going to be their property.
Brother.
That when she's caught in that street trap, it's hard to escape
You
it.
can't come out. You can't. You're bounded for life. You ain't there for Like, but
Camera's working or not?
I don't know.
I feel like
That's a question for Dr. Friday tomorrow.
yeah.
I
oh, well.
don't know.
And if we ring the Minister of National Security, what do you answer?
Are the cameras working or not?
Questions.
Quick poll.
How many times have we done this poll and all
Quick
we
poll.
said no, they
Chris.
not work?
Oh, me answer again? No.
No, they don't-
Dini?
I don't think they work. I don't think they work.
Because one of my first social media posts would have been me sitting down in a big chair with all the screens watching everything. That'd have been one of my first.
I don't think they work.
As the Minister of National Security, that would have been one of my first posts.
What would be the point of keeping it secret? That
The whole idea is
if
to
they
say that
work,
we know
Exactly.
what you're doing.
right?
We can see you.
There'd be no point in me
Listen,
keeping it secret.
so
They don't work.
Yeah.
So that thing with all the screens in wherever it is,
Man, like Netflix.
was that really
You
what?
watching
If they're
Netflix?
distributing them TVs, I would like one.
Yeah, I watch it in my
It was
bedroom.
about 30 screens up.
Look, not to go back on
Borrow
this
one
old
for this-
news,
for the
but
night.
remember, when this whole scene went down with me, they couldn't coming down that same stretch there. You can't find one working camera.
Madness.
Ministry of what name the
Finance.
the financial complex right there,
Good call.
and the
man.
camera now work. Morning.
Morning. Europe allow this underworld to flourish, but yet they telling they was going to move to first world status. Okay then.
All them thing we see man string up camera and put is a sham. Morning.
Good morning. I'm not sure if they're working now, but I could recall maybe 2 years back when I'm a soldier being in an accident, right? And they used those same camera to show him exactly, because he wasn't claiming that he did such an account. He was right on the booster side.
Right.
How long
And
that was?
He denied, hello?
How long that was, you say?
Maybe a year or two.
Okay.
He denied that he didn't have, it was a Noah doing like a taxi and thing. And he denied that he didn't come over because he
And
think
where
he could
did this
have
occur?
He think he could have crossed before
Bristol?
that with the police here on the bike.
So that's not Brewster's cameras.
No, off the pole.
Government CCTV. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So they're walking down there, but they ain't walking up there.
Well, they were working. That was a
Oh,
couple
they
years
were
ago.
couple of years ago. All right. My brother, what I could tell him, just about
I kind of
a year
agree
ago.
with Jeannie though, right? If it was working, maybe that would be a post.
Yeah, I sit down on a chair with sipping some coffee and I'm
Yeah.
watching you.
It's also a preventative measure. Like, don't
Yeah.
try nothing until
Yeah.
because
We're watching you. But you notice they don't get that, they don't see that. Huh?
you don't see that.
All they get is the lip service.
How you gonna see it if the cameras ain't
They ain't
working?
walking. I sat down in a forum with them they ain't walking. They say they ain't walking.
The police said that.
They say they ain't walking.
What was the point?
I don't care. Boy, he watch. Let me go from here.
What was working? I mean, I don't like to harp on the UOP all the time, but what was working?
Nothing.
Something
Something was walking here.
Something is working.
Yeah, there you go, man. We got a bucket truck anyhow to fix them. So let me go do some commercials and we come back.
On